So in my opinion, the Chase Freedom Flex is probably one of the most underrated cards in that entire Chase ecosystem and pretty much overall, and I've been able to get so much value out of this card, especially out of a 0 annual fee card. It's absolutely unheard of, and I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks as to how to fully maximize this Chase Freedom Flex and how you guys can get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of expected value from a 0 annual fee card. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, the Chase Freedom Flex is a 0 annual fee card, and the sign-up bonus that comes alongside of this one is going to be $200 after spending $500 in the first 3 months. And the beautiful thing about these 0 fee cards from Chase in the Chase ecosystem, like the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited, is that even though they are advertised as $200 in terms of cash back, they're actually given to you in the form of Chase Ultimate Reward points. But when you do pair this card with something like the Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve or even the Business Preferred card from Chase, you can then move those 20,000 points, because that's how it's awarded to you, over to one of these cards, then be able to transfer those out to partners or book things through the travel portal. But if you don't have those, then you still get 20,000 points. It's just the only thing you can do with those points is actually redeem them at a 1 cent per point ratio, giving you that $200 cash back. But that's another added bonus. So even if you don't have those other cards and you just focus on cash back, this isn't coming in a form of a statement credit. This is essentially $200 or a $200 gift card that you can use as cash through the Chase portal, which I absolutely love. And then if you hunt even deeper, like I mentioned, that's $200 after spending $500 in the first 3 months. That's the public offer that you see on the website on a day-to-day basis. But if you go into an actual Chase bank and apply for this card in person, there might be some other benefits, like being able to get 5% cash back on all groceries and gas stations, up to $12,000 in a calendar year, giving you an additional 60,000 points worth of value if you do go with that full $12,000 to spend over that 1 year span, which is exactly what I did with the Freedom Unlimited card, and I'll leave that video down below for you guys to check out, because getting these in-branch offers gives it even more of a benefit after the fact, because you still get the public offer of $200 cash back, but on top of that, you get a 60,000 point bonus or $600 cash back if you fully use that in-branch offer. But alright, this is where things are going to get a little bit crazy in terms of math and numbers, so get a pen and paper or the Apple Pencil and iPad to start writing some of this down, because I'm going to show you guys how to fully maximize this and how when I start using this card, the outlook is going to be insane. So first, with the Chase Freedom Flex card, right? What makes it the Flex card versus the Unlimited, the Flex card has rotating quarterly categories. So every single quarter, Chase comes out maybe a week or two before the quarter starts and lets you know that these categories will give you 5% cash back on any purchases up to $1,500. Meaning that per quarter with those categories, you can earn an additional 7,500 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which does equate to $75 of cash back. Or like I mentioned, if you have one of those other cards, you can then transfer those points over and get even more value after the fact. So as an example, we are in Q4 of 2024, and the quarterly categories for this quarter, it's going to be McDonald's, PayPal, pet shops, vet services, and then select charities. So if you spend money on any of these categories up to $1,500, you will be earning 5% cash back. And this is perfect for the holiday season, because pretty much 90 to almost 95% of all online merchants will take PayPal as a payment. So just set this Chase Freedom Flex card as your default form of payment via PayPal, and you'll earn 5% cash back. So pretty much any category that takes PayPal. So of course, things like a Best Buy or maybe some online merchants to buy clothing and stuff like that, of course they're gonna take PayPal, but there's other things, right? Like fast food, Panda Express, Domino's, Burger King, all these companies take PayPal as a form of payment, meaning that even for food, you get 5% cash back. Now, each one of these quarterly categories, there's not a real method to the madness in terms of what to expect or when to expect it, but you start to get a sense of what Chase likes to do on a quarterly basis. For instance, last year in Q1, we did have groceries, fitness clubs, and self-care spas as a 5% category. And what I love about these categories is that you can stack them with the current categories that this card already has. So for instance, the normal spend categories for the Chase Freedom Flex are going to be as follows. 5% cash back on all travel purchased through the Chase travel portal, 3% cash back on all dining, 3% cash back on all drugstores, and then finally 1% cash back on everything else. So if you begin to follow what I was saying here, you're able to stack these points. So for instance, in Q4, I actually did this by accident and found out that I'm able to stack these points with PayPal. So what I did is I actually ordered food from Panda Express directly through the Panda Express application, and you're able to check out via PayPal. So what I did was I checked out via PayPal, assuming I was going to get 5% cash back on this Chase Freedom Flex card, but then I look at my statement and I'm getting 7% cash back on that. And the reason is because you get 1 base point for every dollar spent. Then you get the additional 4 points for that category of spend in the quarterly categories, giving you the 5% quarterly categories. And then you get an additional 2% on that because it is in that dining category. So the way that these categories work, when you start to see the 3% and the 5%, they all start off with that 1% base point, and then after the fact, you get that additional 2, 3, or 4% to then make it the 3, 4, and 5% cashback that they advertise. So So that is how I got 7% cash back on that Panda Express order. I did it the other day with Domino's. Now again, I'm not saying go out and buy a ton of fast food, but just to give you an idea that you're able to stack points. So I spent $20 at Domino's, I got 7% cash back, which I then was able to transfer over to my Chase Sapphire Reserve, giving me 140 points of Chase Ultimate Reward points. And then on top of that, if you continue on with this ecosystem, not to get too complicated, if you use those through the Chase Travel Portal, you get an additional 1.5x on those points. So now you're actually making even more. So those same points that you earned are now worth 210 Chase Ultimate Reward points just by buying $20 worth of pizza from Domino's. So that's when you start to really think about it and you really start to maximize it. And I don't like to overthink it too much and overcomplicate it, but if it starts to work in your everyday spend, I do highly recommend doing that. And then I also remember this happened to me last year with groceries, because I did get this card last year when it had that awesome 5% cash back on all grocery purchases up to $12,000 for an entire calendar year. And as I mentioned, Q1 of this year was grocery stores in there. So I basically made 9% cash back up to $1,500 using the Chase Freedom Flex card, which is absolutely unheard of. So if you spend $100 on groceries, you're getting 900 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which then you can transfer over, equating to 1,350 Chase Ultimate Reward points they can use through the Chase Travel Portal. So you start to maximize that, and you're essentially getting 13% cash back on your $100, spending it at the grocery store, which is something amazing. And then the last little tidbit of information I'm going to give you about these Freedom Flex and Unlimited cards is that they are part of the downgrade path to the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So for instance, if you're really playing the long game on this and you really start to think about it, you're eligible for these sign-up bonuses every 4 years on those Sapphire cards, right? So basically, let's say you applied for the Sapphire Preferred, you get that sign-up bonus, use that thing for 4 years, and now you're eligible to get that card again, but you can only get that card again if you don't have it. So what you do is you downgrade your Preferred or your Reserve card to a Freedom Flex card, and then you reapply a week or two later to re-get that sign-up bonus, and you can do this an unlimited amount of times. Now yes, this is a 4-year gap every single time, but technically you can have an unlimited amount of Freedom Flex and Freedom Unlimited cards with zero issues. So if you are worried about that $1,500 max spend not being enough, especially during the holiday season, then maybe you can have 2, 3, or 4 Freedom Flex cards over the span of a couple years. And even if you have the 2-player system, it makes it even easier. For instance, me and my wife both have the Freedom Flex card, and so we have up to $3,000 worth of spend with these quarterly categories to earn up to 15,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which we then transfer over to my Chase Sapphire Reserve and really just start to max these things out. So again, if this video gets 50 likes, I will do a complete breakdown and really start to show you guys how to fully maximize it, because once you start to think about it, if you do have the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, then every point that you're earning on any other card is actually 1.5x those points. So the 5% cash back you're getting on the Chase Travel Portal is actually 7.5% cash back because of those multipliers that are internal. So again, the math will start mathing for you if you do have this Chase ecosystem, but let me know in the comment down below if you guys do want something like that. I will leave my referral link for the Chase Freedom Flex down below. Definitely call your local branch if you do live next to a Chase bank to see if they're offering that in-branch sign-up bonus. And if not, definitely use the link down below because it helps out the channel if you do want to apply for the Freedom Flex to take advantage of these quarterly categories, or the Freedom Unlimited, which is what I recently did, if you guys want to see that video down below. But that'll do it, everybody. The Chase ecosystem is a beautiful ecosystem to have, and in my opinion, it is the best one by far compared to all the other competitors, but that's a topic for even another video. But that'll do it, everybody. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end, and leave a comment down below if you plan on applying to the Freedom Flex, if you already take advantage of the situation, and if maybe you have a tip and trick for me to take advantage of. But that'll do it. If you want to watch more videos like this one, click on one of these videos right here, and until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace. This was really supposed to be a short PSA video, but kind of got ahead of myself and the math started going crazy, started getting nerdy, and I just want to give you guys all the information possible.